What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, single game $1 million winner, and we're here with some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for tonight's single game showdown slate. Thursday Night Football, FanDuel, DraftKings, Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings. In these videos, we talk about low risk and high risk lineup construction tips. We talk about injuries that impact the slate and all those strategies to help get you to the top of those contest leaderboards. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed. Did you watch our Monday video? Let's take a look here. Had great success using all the strategies that I outlined in that Monday video. It was a weather slate, took it to heart, and yeah, big win for me. Hopefully a lot of you followed the same advice from Monday's video and did the same. So if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button right below the video. Get notified whenever we go live. Upload any new videos. You don't want to miss it. Give us that thumbs up if you like the showdown content. Any questions, comment on the video below. Hop in our Discord server, chat with other like-minded people of the OccupyFantasy.com community. So let's jump into it. Let's go back to DraftKings for tonight's slate. Steelers, Vikings. And the biggest thing that we have to talk about is the Dalvin Cook news. So Dalvin dislocated his shoulder about 10 days ago, and it was roughly expected for him to return to next week's game. However, little eye-opening, got in some limited practices this week, still wasn't sure or even convinced that he was close to playing. But then we get national reporters coming out this morning, and again, I'm recording this at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, getting national reporters coming out this morning saying that Dalvin's been cleared to play, and he's going to give it a go, and he's pushing to play tonight. So as of now, it sounds like Dalvin is going to play against all odds. And if you look at the pricing, let's look on DraftKings. Dalvin is $10,800. His backup and would have been starter if he was out, Alexander Madison, is $9,800. If we go over to FanDuel, they're the same price. FanDuel got lazy, just made them both $12K. Said you guys figure it out. And here's the thing. So if you all the doctors we trust when it comes to fantasy advice and when it comes to injury predictions and injury analysis, pretty much all of them are saying that Dalvin has a very high chance of re-injury in this game. You know, there's also the chance, obviously, that Minnesota doesn't give him his full workload in the return from the shoulder injury. So there's a lot of risk in playing Dalvin, and there's some upside to playing Madison. However, there are a lot of scenarios where they cancel each other out. There are a lot of scenarios where one performs significantly better than the other. So it's a really difficult situation for low-risk contests, 50-50s, double-ups, head-to-heads, and that makes those types of contests extremely hard to play tonight. The other injury is Adam Thielen. He's out tonight with his ankle injury. Went down after just 4 plays in Sunday's game. High ankle sprain. He's down for tonight. In his place, KJ Osborne ran 44 routes last week, saw 7 targets. He'll be the number 2 receiver tonight. And then D.D. Westbrook will be the wide receiver 3. He's down here. He ran 28 routes last week, saw just 2 targets, but will be on the field a good amount tonight. So speaking of those low-risk lineups, again, I'm going to say this another time. It'll be in our daily plug later today. It's a really bad night for low-risk contests because if you know us, we try to lock up all the scoring in low-risk lineups for showdown contests, both quarterbacks, both running backs. That's pretty much impossible to do with the Dalvin and Madison situation unless we get very clear word that something's going to happen. Or if Dalvin's ruled out, then we can play Madison, right? That helps a little more. However, we also have 2 target hog receivers that really make low-risk lineups difficult because both of these guys could be the highest scorers on the slate, and they're both projected to be extremely popular. In Justin Jefferson, especially now without Adam Thielen, and then Deontay Johnson, who's just pretty much a lock for 10 targets anytime he's healthy. So not playing those guys, playing 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, really tough to do. So our advice, again, you don't have to play low-risk lineups. You don't have to play 50-50s. You don't have to play double-ups, right? Don't do it tonight. Lower your allocation. Take some shots on satellite tickets in leagues and GPPs. No need to play low-risk lineups tonight unless something drastically changes before kickoff. And we have the same approach on FanDuel, right? Like Madison Cook going to split carries or re-injury chances, or Madison gets the work. Like a lot of different ways it can play out. Same scenario here on FanDuel. And then you have Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson, who are cheaper than the quarterbacks, cheaper than Najee Harris, going to be popular, and leaving them out of low-risk lineups is pretty dangerous. The other issue is, and this is a great transition into high-risk contests, right? Any contest with exponential payouts, there's really no value on the slate, right? So if you want to pay up for all those guys, in low-risk contests, sometimes we're able to do it. Tonight, you really can't do it because there's one guy priced below the kickers that has a decent role, and that's D.D. Westbrook. Let's go back to DraftKings, right? So we go down. The kickers, defenses, all right, defenses 4,400, 4,200. The lowest price kicker is Chris Boswell, $3,800. Right after that, we have, okay, Ray McLeod, slot role sometimes, right? Should be the slot guy tonight, so maybe he's viable at 3,200. Then you have reserve tight end. You have D.D. Westbrook, who's going to be, honestly, in smaller contests, 30% plus popularity, I would say, just based on the lack of players down here with significant roles. Another backup running back, fullback, reserve receiver, backup. Number 2 tight end, Herndon, maybe gets some more work tonight with the Vikings down Thielen. Maybe they run more 2 tight end sets, but again, not going to be incredibly popular. All backups down here, no mispriced players. So it's really Westbrook, maybe McLeod, or that's it, right? So if we can't find values to pay up for the studs, what do? That means some of these studs are going to go lower owned. Someone's going to get the axe, right? Or the shaft. Who's going to get it? And then also we'll see probably elevated ownership in this mid-range. Tyler Conklin without Thielen. KJ Osborne especially without Thielen. Maybe James Washington. But especially kickers and defenses. Like these are the safest that you'll feel playing in a lower scoring game are these kickers and defenses. And we've seen this on a couple slates before. And when this happens, we do see the elevated ownership on kickers and defenses. However, most people still play it pretty optimally by usual rules when it comes to kicker and defense rules, right? You normally, in a typical showdown lineup, you don't want defenses against your opposing quarterback. You don't want defenses against your opposing running back. You don't want kickers against opposing running backs, kickers against defenses, right? It doesn't make a ton of sense logically. However, on a slate like tonight, where there's really not much value and you're going to be using most of the salary cap to get up to those studs, that means even if a kicker or defense scores 5 or 6 points, they might end up in the optimal lineup, which means a lot of the rules go out of the window. In fact, a lot of the rules not involving kickers and defense go out the window tonight too, right? Pairing a receiver with a quarterback, using a quarterback at all, right? There are scenarios where a 0 quarterback lineup gets there tonight just because of the pricing. So it's a lot to think about, and it's a very interesting slate. But what I would say is try to use as much of the salary cap as you can in all contest types, small field, large field, GPPs, but get different by playing uncorrelated lineups. As opposed to leaving a bunch of salary like we recommend sometimes, as opposed to playing a bunch of low-owned players. And that is a strategy tonight, right? Maybe you like some of these guys down here. Maybe you just play all of them if you're playing 20 or 150 lineups, and you play 10% of each of these trashier players. Hope that one gets into the end zone, and now you're ahead of the field. That's one way to approach it. But if you're playing smaller contests or you have a less risk-averse mindset, playing it closer to the vest, playing more salary, but just playing uncorrelated lineups. And the ways those get there is you use most of the salary cap, and you get the 6 highest scoring players in there. Or you get 6 of the top 8, but maybe some of the top expensive ones can't get there. Really, when that happens is you have a receiver that gets 100 yards. One of the running backs gets 100 yards and a touchdown, and some of the quarterbacks get kicked out. So a lot of different ways to play it because you look at the quarterback pricing. Cousins 10-4, Roethlisberger 10-9, right? $1,400 difference on a slate where salary matters a lot. There's some slates like Monday. We said salary literally didn't matter whatsoever. Tonight it matters a ton. Like if Jefferson is the optimal captain and he's $16,500, that's a pretty penny to pay for a captain, right? You may need that $1,400 in savings, and there are certainly possibilities where Ben Roethlisberger, he may not even outscore Cousins, but the $1,400 in savings may make him the optimal flex play over Cousins. So just something to think about. So if you're looking for ways to get unique tonight, not pairing receiver captains who are going to be very popular, like Deontay Johnson, like Justin Jefferson, with their quarterback, playing kickers against defenses, playing 2 kickers, playing kickers against running backs, things you normally wouldn't do. This is a slate to do it tonight, is even on FanDuel as well, right? A lot of the correlation rules go out of the window when salary matters a lot more and there aren't that many value plays. So the biggest thing for tonight, obviously, though, is monitoring that Dalvin and Madison news. Me personally, I think there's a very high chance of re-injury according to the experts. I'm going to follow that news. I won't play a ton of Dalvin Cook tonight. I would rather play Madison at way reduced ownership now because no one's going to play Madison if Dalvin is playing. Now you get Madison way lower owned. And if Dalvin re-injures himself or they deem that Dalvin's not healthy enough to play or they split work, now Madison could be the slate's leading scorer at reduced ownership. And that's what GPP dreams are made of. So that'll do it for this video. For full thoughts, you'll want to read our daily plug, occupyfantasy.com. That's posted by 3 p.m. Eastern on our site. The link is in the description below. Check out our Occupy model for rankings on FanDuel and DraftKings with projected ownership. Use our lineup builder. The lineup builder is great for all nights, but especially on slates like tonight, where you're trying to figure out what is possible with salary, what rules you can and cannot make. Running the lineup builder, and then even if you hand build, just seeing what is possible with the lineup builder is of extreme help. So make sure you check that out. Links also in the description. Give us that subscription. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We always appreciate that. Again, you don't want to miss out on any of our videos. And we're doing the 3K subscriber giveaway, so we're almost there. I think we're 15 away. Help us get there before the end of the day. We appreciate it. Give us that thumbs up. Any questions you have, comment below. Hop in our Discord server. We're happy to answer them. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. We appreciate you listening. As always, good luck tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.